to again expand our products and our services throughout the country, but throughout the New York City tri-state and surrounding areas as well. So
And
excited for that.
the couple's from Connecticut, so we definitely got to hit up.
Yeah,
The
definitely,
community.
definitely. With that being said, well, let's get right into it. We have our first couple to launch the Sacred Life Connection series who have agreed to be on with us this evening, and that's Sister Mubarakah Ibrahim and her husband, Brother Shafiq Abuussabur. Let's bring them on, inshallah.
Welcome. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
All right,
How are
all
you?
right. Alhamdulillah, we are well.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes, we are well. Thank you for joining us.
I
And
thought you was gonna get us with that. Yeah, brother Shafiq got us beforehand with the sound, with the words and the sound.
I got put on punishment. I got put on punishment. I can't do it now.
Starting off already. Let's go.
Don't do this. Don't do this. I'm just still keep my head straight.
Okay. All right. Cool. So this is how we want to do it. Let's do a quick intro. Who would like to start first? Sister Mubarakah Ibrahim or Brother Shafiq? Who would like to start first about who you guys who are you? For those who may not know.
Well, go for it. Go for it.
I'm not allowed to speak. No, you go.
I'm giving you
Not allowed to speak. I'm still on punishment. I'm still on timeout. So I got 2 more minutes.
Okay. My name is Mubarakah Ibrahim. And we are a married couple. We've been married for, alhamdulillah, 31 years as of 3 days ago.
Alhamdulillah.
Yes. So,
Congratulations.
June 27th was our 31 anniversary. We have 4 children and 3 grandchildren, 3 boys and 1 girl. We live in New Haven, Connecticut. We both, I guess individually, not both. Individually, we have 2 different careers. So
Barker's famous and I'm not.
I am not famous. I am a health coach with an online business right now, and I've had some recognition and success of being on the Oprah show, having dinner with President Barack Obama, and so
Going to the King Fahd City and cows.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my contribution, I would say, to
I've been to the kebab house. I
my
had dinner
field.
with my aunt Kalia. Okay. And I was on, a talent show.
Okay.
America's Got Talent.
No,
Same
it was a high
difference.
school talent show
Same.
when I was in high school.
You're so silly. Okay, it's your turn.
No, go ahead. You keep.
No, I'm done.
I'm just.
That's
no,
all about
I'm
me.
talking-
That's just a general. Come on, go.
Yeah. So I'm Mubarakah's husband. I'm out of time now. Like she said, we've been married for 31 years. Yeah, which is good. I give you a high five for that. High five. Good job. All right. Marriage is awesome. It's a really good thing. I think it's really healthy. We're different. I'm 56. She's 47.
I think
She forgets her age.
age is just it's just a number.
She's like, oh, I'm gonna be my birthday next year. I was like, oh yeah, I gave you a birthday present too already.
Yeah. I don't.
You know what I mean?
I don't think
if you're gonna
age is
forget how
important.
old you are, I might as well say I gave you a birthday present for it already. But I'm gonna try it
Age
next
is not
year.
important. It's about how you feel.
What else? So I'm a retired police sergeant from the police department, New Haven. I retired. What else? I ran a construction company that I started in the police department in 2009. Started cleaning the public schools. Second largest contract in the city of New Haven. I'm a published author, A Black Man's Guide to Law Enforcement in America. So if you want to go pick that up, check it out. It's good. It's on Amazon, wherever else. And then I ran for Alder. I got into politics. And I ran for Alder, won for Alder. Now I'm running for mayor for the city of New Haven. So if elected, I would be the first Muslim mayor of a major city in the state of Connecticut, though I'm not running for that reason, but that is a fact that would be happening. Born and raised in New Haven, educated in Catholic schools, Grew up in the inner city, so I got both sides of the tracks. You know what I mean? And I could flip it if I need to. But I don't. Hello, hello. Okay, I do speak Tyler Perry. Hello. Um, and listen, I'm just. And let me tell you, I love my wife. I love my family. Um, I grew up with a family, and my biological father, only met 3 times. So I didn't grow up with my biological father. That's always been something that, till this day, that always it plagues you. And I try to always be a father for my children, for the father that I did not have. And I did have my stepfather came in and stepped on the scene early, and so he really did a good job raising me. I consider him my father, my grandfather as well. Both of them are now deceased. So I consider myself a super dad. When it comes to being a father, I'm in 200%. And I'm working even harder at being a better husband. I think I'm doing a pretty good job because she kept me around still, so it's working out. I just got some cool cards and some cool points a couple of days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're doing good. Alhamdulillah. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu
Yeah.
Akbar. Beautiful, beautiful. So my question is, how did you guys meet? I'm just curious. You have two different personalities. I can tell, but it gels. It gels. It's working. It's working.
We are yin and yang for sure.
Yeah, yin and yang for sure.
Oh, not yin and yang. Stop that.
In some ways, it works. It works.
She
you think I'm like you?
She likes boxing. Okay, she likes.
I like boxing.
Okay, you like boxing. You sound look like that boxer. That Mike Tyson Holyfield. She was like, "Oh my, look Holyfield." I was like, "Girl, ain't no Holyfield, Shafiq."
Silly.
So yeah.
So how did we meet? So we met through a mutual friend. I lived in Springfield, Massachusetts, which is about an hour from New Haven, and he lived here in New Haven. I attended a wedding of a friend of my mom here in New Haven, and during the wedding, the bride and the groom at different times were like,
"Yo, this is a phenomenal brother here. His name Brother Shafiq. Yo, I'm telling you, like, this dude."
Basically, they were like,
"Be with this brother. This brother." I mean, like, yo, everywhere you go, it's like, "Yo, I know him really good though. I got the inside. I hook you up."
So what they actually said was, "You seem like you would get along great with a brother here that we know." And they asked me for my contact information. And initially I was like, no, I was not interested in getting married. I was literally here just to attend a wedding. I was not at the time, I was not pursuing marriage. But long story short, by the end of the day, my mom convinced me to, that for us to share our contact information. And her reasoning was, she said, "I know you don't want to get married right now." She's like, "But when you do decide to get married, I want you to know that you have more options than just people that go to our masjid."
Girl, let me tell you something. There was a short list. You better get in. Get in while it's Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying?
So I ended up giving my information and
to somebody else, not to me.
Yes,
I wasn't there.
To the brother, and the brother contacted him and told him, he was actually, even though I was at his masjid, he actually happened to be out of town that weekend. So
I was on a retreat, spiritual retreat with the brothers.
Astaghfirullah.
Spiritual stuff. So when she came, he was like, "Oh, Brother Shafiq, he's on assignment. He's not available right now." He's
telling a fib.
I get back on Monday, and the brother handed me a Polaroid with a number on it with a picture. I'm like, "What is this?" He's like, "Yo, man, sister." I'm like, "Come on, man, I ain't ready for that right now." He's like, "Yo, man, but you gotta be this." It's like, okay,
man. The truth
is that the version that we're going to go with? Is that the version?
The actual truth is, the brother called him while he was on the highway back to New Haven and told him
he had cell phones
and told him, well, the brother contacted you. I don't know how he contacted you. and told him
Sat phone. I told you I was on assignment. No,
that he that he had found his wife and he needed to come to his house. And so he went to the brother's house late at night.
I did. Took a helicopter.
And he called my mom the next day.
Yep.
Long story short, so we can shorten it just a little bit, is that that was in
January.
Nope, it was in December.
It was in January.
It was in December.
January.
And
the winter.
Winter.
And we were married in June. So 6 months after that initial picture, we were married.
He wanted to get
The
married.
reason why I know it was in December is because I met your mom on Martin Luther King Day, and that was in January. And we had probably been talking for like a month.
Okay,
so I know it was in December. I don't know the date.
Whatever she said, it was December. Okay, it was the January. How's that?
As you can see, he's very sweet.
The January.
Okay.
It
was the January.
We're trying to make it a holiday now.
So I'm gonna ask one more question before I let Dean shopping, because it's interesting you guys got married 6 months in 6 months. Yeah. Because there's this thing, now about premarital counseling and time frame as to when you want to get married and all that. So I'm curious to how was those 6 months, or like what was that like? The process. What was the process in that 6 months? What were you guys looking at in each other, or looking for in each other, in terms of think traits and different things like that?
So for us, we did not have sort of like, so this is 30 years ago first.
Sure.
And
right.
And I recognize that things are very different today.
Yes.
So I would not recommend get married.
We got internet. Now we got internet. I don't have internet.
We have the way that people view it, a lot of things have changed in 30 years when it comes to
you have to mail a letter, and then you have to wait for them to read it.
Yeah.
You have to wait for them to mail it back.
Yep.
And then you have to read it. And you have to make sure that the letter that you was getting was not a different letter than what they responded to, so that you wouldn't send off another letter because it's the wrong pigeon.
Yes.
Yeah, it was different.
We did not have internet. We did not. So our courting process was, I would say, would be as pretty true. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say traditional.
I patented it. 31 years of marriage for me right now. My courting process is patent. Word.
So while I was engaged to him, we would have phone conversations, but my mother was pretty strict. So anytime I got on the phone with him, I had to sit in the living room. So we didn't have cell phones back there for younger people who are watching. We couldn't take the cell phone. We didn't even have cordless phones at the time.
Well, I had a cordless phone.
Okay. I did not have a cordless phone. No, cordless phone was invented.
She had like a phone at her house, and it had like a 50-foot cord, and it was just going everywhere.
Yes, everybody had those phones.
It was like a double Dutch cord.
I would actually have to sit on the phone with my mom or one of my cousins in the room, and I could not talk to him like alone.
And there was no speakerphone, so she'd be on the phone and she'd be holding like this. And then after a while, her mom was like, "Yo, this dude got game. I like what he's saying," And I would,
And we would write each other letters. My mother would read all his letters before when I got them. So my mother was a very close watch over the time. At the time, my father passed away when I was 11, so my father was not there. And so my mother was pretty much in charge of, all of the things that a wali would normally
did a good job.
Be in charge of. We saw each other almost every weekend, though. Either he was coming to Springfield or I was coming to New Haven for different things. There was an Eid that happened within that 6-month period, and so our whole family came to Eid. I visited his mother. So in 6 months, we saw each other, if I remember correctly, every weekend except for one. and we wrote and we talked on the phone on a weekly basis. So we got to know each other.
It was like stalker level. I was just trying to keep it managed with her though. I knew what she was dealing with. She was like, she was in love. And I was like, I'm gonna try to help you, but you got to wait for 6 months. Brother, I only had a certain amount of money. She's blushing now. 31 years. Look at that face. She's still blushing. So, amazing.
When I met him, he was not a police officer. Nope. He actually, I think, where were you?
I was doing security for the imams in the country, and I worked
and then
in.
You was like
substitute teacher. I work with kids.
Yeah.
Substitute teacher, behavioral tech. So I work with kids in alternative schools.
Yeah, and then
I had like 5 jobs. I worked at Friendly's, Wendy's.
Court time during the time we were recording, you got the full-time job.
Had a full-time job,
right? And then
I was still working with the kids.
Yeah.
So I was working with kids.
So that's sort of like how the courting process worked for us. It was very, I would say, monitored. Okay. In terms of what I was looking for was, I guess I was pretty much just not seeing it, making sure I didn't see no red flags. I was looking for somebody who had ambition, somebody who I could grow with. I was very young, so I didn't have a long list. And I would have to say, even in retrospect, a lot of the things that sort of like, this is what makes a good husband, was things that like my mom or my sisters would point out to me and say,
like what?
So, they would point things out when he did certain things, like, oh, that's a good sign.
Like what?
That kind of stuff.
Because the viewers don't know what those things were.
What was
like every time I came and visit you, I brought flowers.
Yeah.
For you and your mother.
Yes, he brought flowers for me and my mother every time
he came to visit us. I paid for the tickets. Yeah.
Paid for my train ticket.
I mean, it is not about money. It's about smiles.
So what were you looking for? Why did you feel like?
I was looking for the most beautiful woman in the world. I found her.
Okay.
It means I have the best eyesight.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
All right, you got some points.
Brothers, come hit me up. I'll give you some lessons. At least I get you to like 3 years. You work it out after that. You can renew your membership with me. I get you. We do it on a year by year after that.
No, I appreciate you making humor of this, because I mean the time period that you all are addressing, the convenience that we have now, we kind of take for granted these organic, these natural, evolving relationships, and as you all mentioned, being monitored and respecting. And so that part we want to just highlight a little bit. So we're talking about sacred life connections, right? And so obviously you all didn't think this was a game. You weren't wasting each other's time. Just speak to the fact of the importance of what, like, we're joking now. You've made it through all the 5, the 10, the 15, the quarter century. And so, but you all, initially had to have some type of seriousness or some type of focus to be able to take on this task just off of GP. Can you speak to that, the importance of you all seeing the importance of the relationship?
I'm going to answer first all the other questions.
Oh, it's like the debate. Yeah. Shafiq answer all the questions first and everybody else listen. So, for me, here's the deal. For me, my life has always been, I told the story the other day. Mubarakah said, I'm the type of person, I love fried chicken. Her fried chicken is the best ever. I love macaroni and cheese. And I love vegetarian baked beans. And if you put some barbecue sauce in and a little bit of, halal beef bacon, I'm in. I could eat that every day, right? So I'm a simple guy. I was 24 years old. I wanted to be married by 25. My life plan was graduate school after 18, find a religion, get involved in that religion, graduate from college. When I graduate from college, go get married. I wanted that all to happen 24, 25. But I had a default plan. The default plan was, if I did not finish college by age 24, I was going to stop and focus on getting married because I want to start my family by 25. That was it. So everything else fell in place. Becoming Muslim, my journey and path into Islam, 23, 1991, I took my Shahada, I believe it was. And I just knew. I was like, it's time to get married, And so 25 was the cutoff. That's what I wanted to do. And I was committed and ready to make the harder decisions I need to make around my personal life, jobs. When I met her, I didn't have a job with any benefits. I had jobs. I was making money. I wasn't wasting money, buying stupid stuff. I didn't have a drug issue and all that kind of stuff. So my mother said, "You can't set a date. I won't set a date with you until you get medical benefits." I was like, "Bro."
That's what my mother told me.
So I was like, you know what? Fasta Dawood, man, in the tahajjud game got get kicked up. So I kicked up my combination of Fasta Dawood and tahajjud. Went in there and the people was like, "You got medical benefits." I was like, "Hold on, time out." Yeah, we can set that date now. I remember I called her. I called her mom from the school. I was like, "Yeah, we can set that date. I got the medical benefits." Now the difference was this day and time, I could have just emailed her and got it over really quick. Back then it was like, "Nah, we'll meet next Saturday." And so for me, mentally, I was ready. I was ready mentally. I was good to go. I think that the challenge with a lot of young people right now is in America, our kids are sometimes raised as an extended adolescent. So it's almost like they're going into marriage like this first time. If you don't get it right, you can get it right a second time. No, it's a one-time deal. You're supposed to try to get it right the first time. If Allah Ta'ala has it where it doesn't go right the first time, don't let it be because of something that you're not doing. Try to do everything you can do. It's a suicide mission. You got to make sure that you got to give it all. And then when it goes bad or goes left, then you got to fall on the sword. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're in the wrong relationship. And you're in the wrong part of your life. So for me, it wasn't hard. The hard part for me was not starting the journey. The hard part for me wasn't the journey. The hard part is the difficulties you're going to have along the journey that you not necessarily may not be aware of, right? Because things in your life happen. You go like, "Oh shoot, I didn't anticipate this," or "This happened." Now, how do I stick to the journey? How do I stick to the mission? And you have to have good people around you to help you do that. And you gotta dig deep too. On your worst day, you gotta trust in Allah in what you never even imagined. People talk about trusting Allah, but on your worst day, it might be you just trusting Allah. On your really worst day with both of you and each other and Allah and your trust is all you got, right? And it could be different experiences. So, we're not trauma bonded. That's a good thing. We love bonded. You know what I'm saying? Nickname Love Shack. At the Love Shack.
Oh, you gonna sing too?
No.
You gonna give the people some extra?
Give some yeah. I do not own the right to this music. I do not own the rights to this music. I love that. I just learned that a couple weeks ago. Oh my God. All right, you go ahead. You don't want to say nothing. Yours
was so good.
Yeah, you're like, what's up? My dude. Magic.
He might got something to that patent. He talking about that patent. We starting to see that work.
Yeah, the patent. No, communication key. But I ain't gonna go too far ahead of your questions. Yeah.
Well, Mubarakah, were you? I know you mentioned that your mother was able to communicate to you the importance of, or convince you in some way to go ahead with it. Was that something you also identified in him, like his focus, his driven? Because you mentioned early on about you were looking for someone, I think you said with vision or with drive. Were you able to identify that?
Yeah. So when I got married, I was very young. I was 16 when I got married, and this for the way that I was raised. So I am number 5 of 6 children, and everybody got married except for my little sister before their 17th birthday. My brother, all my previous sisters, my mother's philosophy, she had a very strict Islamic philosophy. And she told us since probably when we became teenagers, there's no boyfriend and girlfriend in Islam. When you feel like you want a companion of the opposite sex, you must be aware that that means the responsibilities of marriage. And so that was just like point blank. There was no discussion. Like, if you feel like you want a boyfriend, that means you really want a husband. Yeah. And I was raised that way, right? So when I say I was raised that way, that means like, you know, my mother did everything she can to sort of like educate me on what the Islamic responsibilities were for a wife. What are the things that I need to do in order to maintain a household? You know, she just always prepared, not neglecting the other parts of me growing up. So it was like, you know, most parents are like, hurry up and get your homework done because it needs to be done. My mom is like, hurry up and get your homework done so I can show you how to fry chicken because this is going to be an important skill too.
She did a good job with that. She's really late in that fried chicken game.
So that's just the way that I was raised. So when there was the inquiry or opportunity for me to get married, I wasn't necessarily like looking to get all of my previous older siblings got married at 15 and 16. I had this grandiose idea that I would not get married till I was 18. So that was grandiose for me at the time. But the opportunity came along and everything sort of like what I say, oh, well, you know, I want to finish school. And my mother was like, what does that have to do with marriage? Like, you can get married and finish school. And she assured that. So inside of our marriage contract, because I got married so young, it's in our contract that I had to finish high school because I actually got married while I was in high school. And I have the right to attend college, and it has to support me in every way that
and
he
she has a college degree
for me to do that. So if he needed to pay, if he needed whatever it is that he needed to do, so he could
write Biden to get him to forgo her student loans. I did that.
So that was something my mother actually put inside of the contract because I was always very studious. I always wanted to pursue my education. Yeah. So she's like, you know, you can get married, why not? And so I was like, okay, you're right. Why not? I really didn't have no excuse not to. So, so when I got married, I think that for me at that age, I was, even though I was what most people would consider technically young, even to this day, I think that I was mature enough for marriage. I was prepared very well for marriage. It is not something that I recommended for my children. I know none of our kids would have been ready for marriage at 16.
Our daughter's 24.
I did not.
Though she is looking to get married. So any Muslim men out there,
when you're going to put her out there like that,
of 30 and 35, inbox us.
You're gonna put her out there.
Gotta have a job, medical benefits.
Whole interview.
Yeah. And watch this video so you know you be on point. I approve that message.
So I think I was even today, I think that my mother prepared me well, and I was mature and I was ready to take on that responsibility. And I think for me, the important part was, of course, that he was sound in his deen. I wasn't looking for somebody who was an Islamic scholar or a sheikh or anything like that.
Basically, she was saying, I can make salat, and after that, I was dumb. But it's okay.
That's not what I'm saying.
Absolutely okay.
I said sound in his deen.
I did Ramadan and the Eids and Juma, right?
That's more than the 5 pillars. That it has to do with your understanding, your practice.
I love it. Right? What a wonderful compliment.
It wasn't an insult.
I married this humble, dumb Muslim dude. He's like, mashallah. He's the best. Making salat.
That's not what I meant.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're talking about like what was the thing
she tested me. She was like, what you want on your salad? 1,000 Island of ranch. I was like, come on now. You know it's prayer. She's like, see, he's smart.
So
go on, girl.
So I was looking, so that was the most important thing. And also somebody that was open-minded, that was not sort of like you need to stay home barefoot and pregnant kind of mentality.
No, absolutely. Let you wear shoes.
Obviously, somebody that makes me laugh, right?
I'm just saying. Well, you can wear shoes. I'll pick them out. Yeah. See what she's setting me up. That's what she's setting me up for these questions. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Excellent. So normally we would just go half an hour. If you have a few more minutes, we'd love to continue the conversation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
okay. I would like to invite the audience. We have quite a few of you all listening and watching us right now. I'm going to put the link in the chat. We normally do this when we have our dialogue program every third or every last of the month. Last Sunday of the month, we have our interfaith dialogue program. We kind of invite the audience who are present to join us. So we got this dynamic couple here. So if you all would like to share anything to our guests, we would like you all to come on. We're going to put the link in the chat. You're welcome to come on. We see a shout out right here. Uncle Shafiq for mayor of Connecticut, Jelani. Okay. So if anybody else want to come on, you're welcome. I just put the link in the chat. You can go click the link. It'll tell you to come into the back room, and we'll bring you on. You give them greetings, give them salam, any comments. You can also put in the chat. We love to hear from our audience. This is a nice platform for you to join with this great couple.
Yeah, I mean, so while people are doing that, getting their questions, their burning questions ready, you all mentioned a lot, and I really think that this is a really important discussion, and I like how you all have great synergy. It seems like a perfect match made in heaven or match made in Jannah. May Allah continue to bless you all's relationship. I mean, my question would be you all's advice to young people, young adults looking to get married, because now, as you all mentioned before, it's a different time. We ain't talking about the 90s, 80s, 90s. We talk about pen pals, like you guys were pen pals and meeting up. It's a different age. We got Facebook now. You got TikTok. You got all these different types of things. And the landscape has changed. And they say, too, if you wait too old to get married, its chances supposedly get slimmer and slimmer to get married. Or your options get slimmer and slimmer to get married, rather. So you got a lot of other factors now. So shed some light. Can you all shed some light onto any advice that you would give to young adults out there watching or watch the replay later or whatever have you, on how to look at marriage now?
You can go first.
I think that so I'll start with your last point. When you look at marriage now, I think that we really have to go back to looking at it as a lifelong commitment, right? So too often I hear young people who they start off with, well, I want this for a dowry just in case we get a divorce, right? That shouldn't be the preempt of what you're asking for a dowry, because you're already starting with this anticipation in the back of your mind that something is going to go wrong. And so I think that we have, or these younger generations have really gotten out of the view that this is a lifelong commitment. It's sort of kind of like, hey, I'm going to get married. I like this person. I'm going to try it out. If it don't work out, I can always try again, right? So I think that that's the way that we view marriage is very different today. I remember once someone asked me, like, how do you stay married for 31 years? And my tongue-in-cheek answer was that we just never got divorced. Right?
Yeah, right.
Right? So we've had hard times, but I think to myself, like, okay, if you were to get a divorce and go marry somebody else, then there's this whole getting to know person process. So just pause where you are and get to know this person again, because you changed. You can imagine in 31 years, our interests have changed. What we prioritize in life has changed.
My hair is stayed black, though.
When I married him, he was a behavior tech at a school for special needs kids. Exactly. And then he turned into a police officer. I was like, whoa, hold up.
Now I'm a grandfather and I'm a behavior tech in the family.
And now after he was a police officer for 21 years, now he's like, oh, I want to go into politics. I'm like, wait a minute. That wasn't the part of the original agreement. But we evolve. Yeah. And so I think that it's important that we understand that, like, if you're going to make your marriage last, you have to expect and be malleable enough to know that you are not married to the 10 years in, you're not married to the person that you got married to. 20 years in, you're married to somebody else. 30 years in, you're married to a completely different person in many respects. And you have to be amendable enough to know when your spouse needs to have their individuality in both ways, from a wife's perspective of supporting his many different career choices to a husband's perspective of supporting my personal
many different career choices. You're a professional power lifter. Thank you.
So I went from being a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling all my kids, and then I decided I wanted to open a business, and then I opened a business, and then
started making bean pies.
And then I had a bean pie business at one time. Last 2 years, I decided I wanted to be a professional power lifter, right?
Power lifter now.
So my interests have changed in being able to like say, oh, okay, this is something new. Let me get to know this new part of my spouse, as opposed to holding on to the parts that you were so committed to at the beginning. Those parts might change, and you have to be willing to not just accept that change, but also to evolve with it and appreciate it. Because if your spouse is evolving, that's a good thing. You don't want somebody to be the same person they were 10 years ago, because there's no self-development for that person. That means that that person is literally stuck where they are and they aren't becoming a better person. So the evolution of them as an individual is an indication that they are becoming a better person, which is going to make your marriage stronger.
That's very good. Thank you. I think it was very good. I like that. Here's what I'm going to say. For the men that are looking to get married, be ready to be a man, period. No whole bar. So that means you're going to have to work to take care of your family. And if you're not ready to work and make that sacrifice, don't fool yourself. Don't get married. I look back now, when we first got married, I was working like 60 hours a week, and that was a full-time job and then a part-time job. As we had kids, I got another part-time job, but I was always seeming to work whatever I was doing 80 hours a week. I became a police officer, working 80 hours a week. Even the days when I wasn't a police officer, I wound up doing youth programs on my own time, volunteering, still 80 hours a week out of the house. I was trying to build a community. I was trying to build a family. I was trying to build my marriage at the same time. 31 years, and now I'm 56, and now I'm running for mayor. And that 80 hours a week now has gone to about 100 hours a week, where I'm now working, trying to establish just like a better city and a better way of life for people. I'm working for my wife. I'm working for my children, for my grandchildren. It's a different kind of work. And so that's the work, right? And so if any brother is trying to get married, like, yeah, man, I'm trying to just do the basic. Don't fool yourself. You cannot survive your marriage on basic. It is a full-time, overtime, overdrive, and you better be committed. And don't bring home that commitment that is your duty and make it the burden of your wife. Like, yeah, I was out here working 80 hours a week, and you should. No, you're owed nothing. You owe nothing, because you're doing this for the sake of Allah. And this is the mission, right? This is the mission that Allah has given you. You're the man. You have to provide. Don't try to go. What I try to do, what makes me work with her, I always try to push above and beyond. So when we first got married, I was broke, but I had enough money. We had a really nice wedding. We had glass plates and glasses and metal forks and chicken, curry chicken. I mean, it was the wedding. Video, limo. We had cakes. We gave away cakes. Like, yo, brother, take that cake back to, whatever. And I didn't have a lot of money, but I saved the money and I tried to give her what she wanted and what I wanted, right? To call it a brand to get us going. But we had no money for the honeymoon. We used my parents' timeshare and $365 that we collected at the wedding, right? And then we went on the timeshare. The wedding ring cost $500. That's what all I had. But on our 25th anniversary, I saved up money. She didn't know. She kept saying, we need to talk about bills. We need to talk about where the money at. I was like, girl, in my mind, I was like, girl, I can't. I'm saving up money on the back end, buy you a nice ring. You don't know. So she was real tight all the way up until like we went away in June. We went to Costa Rica. And I had saved up money. So like I had rented out the entire villa over the water and had paid for the waiter. I Facebook Lived it, bought a super ring. I call it a super ring. And it was me saying, look, I couldn't do it then, but if I had it, I would have gave it to you. But now I got it and I'm giving it to you. And I don't just rest on that. Every single year I'm striving to do more. It's easier to do now because I don't have children in the house. So I can focus on being a husband. Second one, it's hard to be a husband and a dad at the same time. It takes a lot of work. So when you're a husband and you don't have kids, invest in being a husband so that when the kids come and you got to invest in being dad, you got something left in the tank to be a husband. Because it goes the same way. You get mad, it's like, oh, I love you, we're together. And the kids come, you're like, man, move, I got, whatever. And so you do that for like 18 years, and then they leave, and you got to come back to try to figure out how to do this again. So make sure you do date night, make sure you have fun, do fun stuff. It's like that movie Sugar Hill, when Ramella was like, I just want to be normal, go out to the Apollo, boo people. I mean, you just, and you just got to keep it as Muslims, rather doesn't matter if you're African American, this is America, just keep it real. It's okay. You could do the, all I call the Islamic innuendos, inshallah, mashallah, alhamdulillah, all the Arabic I know, but go to the movies too. You can still find a movie to go to. You can go out to dinner. You could do candlelight dinner. You could do walks on the beach. You could go running together. You got to do stuff together because it's a relationship. And you can't just rely on the angels. Angels bring us together. Angels bring us together. Yeah. Like the other lady said, the angels are coming and African angels are coming. Yeah, they're all here. But you got to do something to build the relationship. It's important. And so what you are witnessing is a friendship. This is my absolutely hands down best friend. Absolutely. Absolutely. My best friend. My best friend. My best friend. Is sometimes I wake up in the morning, I say, my voice is cracking, I don't get emotional. But I just think about myself. I just think about, like, man, Allah, please, just keep it with, it's personal. This is my best friend. That's what I'm going to say. This is my best friend. When you get it to this point, it's easy. This is easy now, right? But you got to get there. And a person doesn't become your best friend because it's easy. They become your best friend because you're both putting in work in the relationship. So keep putting in work, and it works, and it's great. And she's a power lifter, so it's like, what's up? Power lifter, I see you.
So that's why I get to put him on timeout, because I'm lifting.
What's up, power lifter? I see you. You know what I'm saying? No, me. No. So no, I mean, and that's the other thing. I'm gonna just keep it real honest. Your appearance is critical. It's absolutely critical, especially for Muslim sisters. Because look, I ain't got a kufi on. She got to wear a hijab if she's a hijabi. If your wife is like all shrouded up in the hijabi thing, when you go outside, these sisters ain't got hijabi. You're looking at Cardi B and all this other stuff and all this other stuff and all this other stuff. So the appearance of the wife has to be in an attractive state too, because that's what you're coming home to. And the same thing for the bride. I got waves, they spinning. You know what I mean? My waves are spinning. I'm 56. I stay shaved. I look good. I try to keep it. This is purposeful. You know what I mean? So you have to have that. You gotta be like, yeah, the beard is everywhere. And brother got crumbs, got falafel crumbs in his beard. He's like, alhamdulillah, because no, man, not in this life, in the next one. So be there, do the work, put the work in. Because people are doing it. You go to work with non-Muslims, you put the work in, you smell good, you look good, you smile. Oh, how are you? It's the same thing with your wife. Surprise her. Don't miss it. Don't miss anniversaries. Don't miss birthdays. Have your game on tap. On tap, right? You want to show them your stuff? No, I'm just joking. But listen, I take care of my wife. I make her happy. My goal is this smile that you see. Go ahead, show them. See? That's important to me. I want people to say, like, yo, man, she looks so young and beautiful. Because how many women do we know, you see them, you go, dad, what's she going through? Or you see the husband, he'd be like, damn, right? So we're a reflection of each other. And I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of my wife. I don't hold her back. She want to fly to Costa Rica, bye. Boy, bye. You know, I mean, it is what it is. So you got to give people the room to grow. Stuff the law, you can't go there. You know, it's 50 miles. It's 51 miles to Hartford. I'm going to have to get your mother on, you know, sister. You just got to give people the room to grow, thrive. No one's going nowhere. She's not going nowhere. She know I got GPS on her. You know what I mean? Halal GPS. But no, that's the thing.
The new joke. Halal GPS.
Here's the last part too. Mubarakah taught me this. She said, you know, because I'm in business, she said, if you want to be a millionaire, you hang around millionaires. You want to be a billionaire, you hang around a billionaire, right? Something to that degree, right? You want to stay married for 31 years? Get with somebody that's been married for 10 years or 15 years. Don't be hanging around people on their third divorce, you know, or they ain't married and they got all kind of marital advice. They can't tell you. They ain't been there. Get with people that have been there so they can give you good construction, and be around people with healthy marriages and healthy relationships. Because marriage it's a very unique relationship. I tell my children, when you leave my house, do what I say when you leave my house. I don't care if you live on your own. I'm still got you under guard, follow my orders. Because even in the Akhirah, I'm still going to be your father. It's a bond that cannot be broken eternally for all of my children. The marriage, kind of same way, because if you're divorced, they're going to be your husband in Akhirah, right? Or your wife in Akhirah. But this relationship bond is a voluntary bond. It's not like the bond you have with your children. This one's voluntary. So you got to put the work in, and you're putting it in for the afterlife. Right now, she's telling me that she's going to be more beautiful in the afterlife. I'm like, okay, I got my game. I'm like, okay, let me get this right, because I'm, you know, stuff I can't talk about.
You know, what you said reminded me of I saw a talk the other day, and the sister pointed out was that when Allah created Adam, the first relationship that Adam had was with Allah. But the second relationship that he had was with his wife. That Allah could have created a daughter, he could have created a son, he could have created a parent, but he created a wife, a partner for Adam. Yeah. So after Allah, as your first relationship, Allah designated that most important relationship is with your spouse. That was the second relationship that he gave us after creation. And we have to respect and honor it as such, right? We've gotten so far away of honoring marriage as something that is sacred, that is something that is designated by the divine, right? It's not just a pastime or something cool to do, right? It's literally a sacred relationship that Allah has designated for us.
So it's awesome. So, hey, listen, if you ain't got married, get it together, get on a team. It's a good team. Makes it work. And, you know, hey, listen, everything comes from Allah. You got to put the work in, but it comes from Allah. And we're in a good spot, you know, and I appreciate you, because she's right. You know, normally we had a rule every anniversary, 27th, we are on a beach somewhere in an exotic island, sunset dinner with people sitting around smiling at us saying, oh my God, I'm so happy that you know, last 2 years, you know, it's been McDonald's and Burger King because I'm running for office.
I don't allow McDonald's and Burger King,
but it has not been, you know,
we haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah, last year we made it work. I can't disclose it, but we had a really nice, she was definitely
later. But this year,
good. She got,
because of his mayoral.
She was good for last year. She should be good for about 5 more years. That was a window. But no, we went away some really place, really nice that she liked, and she was happy.
And this year we didn't get a chance to go away because of his mayoral election. We went out to dinner.
Where?
To S&P.
Oh, S&P Oyster House. That's right.
So we went out to dinner. Yeah. But that's also part of, you know, the compromise, right? Yeah. He's doing something really important.
But I bought her some nice ice. Hey. So I mean, that's the other part. You know, there was a brother. We went out, we was on date night. Here's where Muslim men mess it up. Me and her out on date night, basic French fries, falafel house, blah blah. Brother comes, Sonic, what are you doing? Date night. She's got all her cute face on, all that stuff. And I said, oh, yeah, date night, brother. I said, don't you do date night? He said, yeah, brother, I take my wife on a date. He says, every year we go to Umrah. That ain't a date. Umrah's not a date. So that is just the mentality that we have. We think if you think Umrah's date night, Umrah's not date night. Umrah's Umrah. Okay? Date night is your wife putting on her cute face and her cute shoes and all her little cute stuff, being cute, and you walking with her, and she cute, right? And everybody's like, "Oh, your wife is cute." It's like, yeah, she's my wife. That's date night. And so we don't understand the difference, and we need to understand those differences, right? And we need to understand that everything doesn't have to be an Islamic setting. Ooh, we're going to the Eid. That's date night. It's Eid prayer, bruh. So, you know what I mean? So we don't get it. You know, date night is find a halal spot or find a spot that has seafood, whatever your wife likes. Take her in there, let that door swing open, and she come through there with her hijab, and people go, "Oh my God!" And the angels in the nur is already lighting up the room, and you already know what it is, and they don't, and you're like, right? That's date night, and so we gotta get it right. That's how we get it right. So you need some tips. You can sign up for my program. It's $299.
He's joking.
I'm joking.
Oh, but I mean, you're joking, but it might be needed. Actually, might have to get the package, man. But no, we appreciate you all coming on, allowing us to showcase you on our platform on this new series, Sacred Life Connection series. We're going to give you a rounding applause. That's with the date night hands.
Date night.
Yep, we look forward to following up with you all on the success of your campaign, and we do a lot of community development work and showcasing people in community activities and development. So we definitely looking forward to coming up there and supporting you in any type of way we can on our platform.
Absolutely.
Sir.
Yes, we need it. It's welcome. Accept it. Invitation accepted. But now listen, I appreciate y'all seriously. I mean, I think this is very important. We have 4 children. 2 of our boys are married. One lives next door. They both have children. One has 2, 3-year-old and a 6-month-old, and the other one has a 6-month-old. And I think I could say this: being African American, which both of us are, often we have challenges in our past with our fathers, right? Fathers not there, broken families, that whole deal. We charge our boys and our children, just do us one favor: have no children out of wedlock. Get married, try to build your family. Let's focus on that. Families have to have missions, and you don't make the mission kind of like after you come together. You need to have the mission going in as individuals about what your expectation is, right? And so she doesn't want to relive what she relived with her father, and I don't want to relive what I lived with my father. We want to be better parents, and it's okay to say that, and it's okay to say that with your children. So listen, I appreciate y'all. I sure I can adjust my schedule to come back, right? Yeah. We work it out. It's important. This is for everybody, right? Strong families build strong communities. That's just the reality of it. All right, sorry, I didn't mean to mess up this.
No, I mean it's all love, man. It's all love. This platform is always open for you all to come back and share with us. Anything of that you all are doing of great importance, which is valuable to us. This platform is open for you all, and alhamdulillah, for those who are tuned in just now, we watch the replay. We're going to replay this for those who were not able to tune in live. Make sure you all can take some notes, bring a pen out and a pad out, because that's what this was. This was a real talk, real conversation, real tips, real advice from real people who have done it and are still doing it. Alhamdulillah. So we want to, thank you all again for coming on. Thank you for the listeners who have tuned in. We will continue this Sacred Life Connections series next month with the next installment of couples coming on to showcase, not just showcase them, but again, every couple is going to have a different expression. So it'll be a little bit different. Yes. And that's the beauty. That's the beauty of being married. Every married couple is not going to be like robot. This is how Shafiq is how every man is going to be in their marriage, or how Sister Mubarakah is going to be every sister in their marriage. It doesn't work that way. Everyone's individuals, so that's why we want to give a very diverse perspective on this institution of marriage within the context of Al-Islam and what that looks like. So until then, we will see you all next Saturday, inshallah. Have a great one. Stay safe. Stay prayed up. And we will see you shortly. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Alaikum salam.
Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. They say the first cutter be the one that sets the tone, to add pressure to a lesser known flesh and bone, to look different than the picture shown. And to be a rebel means you're not about to settle till you get your own. This one's for all my outside of the box thinkers, with bumblebee stingers and paper cut fingers and scrapes on their kneecaps. I know the pain lingers. The healthy way to heal a broken wing is to give it love. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. Yeah, the thing about community is how proud it is. We understand what well balanced and what grounded is. And love is the hinge that heals and mends, conceals and blends, and keeps us all covered. That's grounded shit. We say it's all black when it's all love, and it's brown when it's all good. Groundages, we help heal the hurt. So put us on. I said you gotta put us on.
Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999. Legacy, legacy, MuslimJournal.net online.